The City of Tacoma's Office of Equity and Human Rights, OEHR, is committed to transform government and anchor it in anti-racist practices and policies. One of these goals involves discrimination investigations related to fair housing in the city. With me today is Nancy Shattuck, Human Rights Manager, and Alejandra Villeda, Outreach Coordinator, both with OEHR. Nancy and Alejandra, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, Nancy, first question for you. Can you share with our audience the City of Tacoma's intervention related to potential discrimination?
Absolutely. Yeah. So here in Tacoma, we have our municipal code 1.29, which specifically is our law that talks about discrimination and talks about the education that needs to happen around it and also the remedies that we have here in the city. And so we can intervene where there's discrimination with fair housing, employment, and public accommodation. And so if you live, work, or do business in Tacoma and you think you're being discriminated against, you can reach out to us. There's many protected classes. Federally, we have 7 across the United States, but here in Tacoma, we actually have 15. And so I have them here because I never want to miss one because they're all super important. And so our protected classes are race, religion, color, national origin or ancestry, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, marital status, familial status, honorably discharged veteran or military status, disability, source of income, or pregnancy outcomes. So there's lots of protected classes that someone might fall under. They may fall under a few, and we just want folks to know that they have rights.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you, Nancy. Alejandra, next question for you. What is reporting discrimination, or excuse me, who is reporting discrimination in Tacoma?
Yeah, so the majority of our cases the last 7 years have shown that people who are experiencing discrimination or race have been reporting the most. We also have people who, if they're retaliated against when they seek legal advice, self-retaliation, they know that that is something else too. And we for sure want people to know more about the fact that they have rights and that if they are getting discriminated against all of the 15 protected classes that they can go ahead and report that. We have amazing investigators, our housing investigator and employment investigator, they're amazing and they are really the ones who kind of just take the lead in these investigations. So we're excited to be here because then hopefully, people will be able to just hear and learn more about the services and resources that we have to offer.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alejandra. And can you also tell us, Alejandra, how can someone file a complaint?
Yeah, so they can call 311 and 311 will take you directly into to our office, and you can go ahead and you'll be able to then reach Nancy, our Human Rights Manager, our investigators. You can also go online at the City of Tacoma and search in housing or discrimination. You can then find our online intake form. So I would say it's pretty accessible to be able to reach our office and services. Yeah.
Thank you. Nancy, question for you. Have any of these investigations provided results?
Yes, I would say yes. So a lot of cases will have a no reasonable cause finding just because it's hard to prove discrimination. And sometimes people will have a feeling like they've been discriminated against, but then there's not the evidence to support that. And so our role is to really be neutral fact finders, not to be advocates for people. And so that's something that's hard for folks to understand sometimes. But our role is to really dig down, find the evidence, and determine did discrimination happen? So a lot of cases do result in no reasonable cause, but we also can mediate. So through the process of a case, we can offer reaching out to that housing provider or talking to the employer and saying, this is what this person needs to make them whole. Are you willing to do that? And try to come to an agreement between the two parties so that then the housing provider does better or the employer does better, because really we want to prevent the harm if we can. And then people who have been discriminated against deserve to have remedies. So that's really what we're there to do, is to help them be made whole.
Absolutely. That's an amazing amazing service that your office provides. And, you know, with so much of it going on, I'm glad that this is available for our community, our Tacoma residents. So then can you also tell us, Nancy, about your landlord-tenant program and changes made to the rental housing code this past year?
Yes. So in the summertime, the council updated our rental housing code, and then in December, the voters voted for the Landlord Fairness Initiative Code. And so they're now both in effect. They both offer relief to tenants, and they offer kind of rules for what landlords need to be abiding by. And there is some confusion because there are some things that are a little bit different between each code. I would offer that on our website, on the OEHR website, if you just search City of Tacoma Rental Housing Code, it will come up. And there's webinars there to really break down what the changes are. And it's something that there's things, you know, we want to make sure people have stable housing in Tacoma. And it's a huge issue right now, people having access to housing, in the affordable housing.
That part.
Affordable, yes.
Yeah, so, you know, in the council and the voters, like everyone recognizes that. So there's some really forward-thinking ideas in the code, and so now we're in the process of educating tenants and educating landlords about their responsibilities, and determining what is our role as an office in the intervention, and how can we make sure folks know, you know, there's things related to eviction prevention, there's things about the pet deposits, like there's really specific things in the code. And so I would just really welcome people, again, like Alejandra said, call 311, talk to our landlord-tenant coordinator if you have a question, because we really just want to make sure that we're getting the right information to the folks out there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nancy. And Alejandra, is renting in Tacoma improving, or is it too early to tell?
Good question. I think it's a little too early to tell. And I also think it depends on your perspective. So let's ask ourselves, like, are you a landlord or are you a tenant, right? I know that the city of Tacoma is dedicating to ensuring that there be availability for housing for all Tacoma residents, especially people who are in the most vulnerable communities. And so really just stable housing for all, right? I think that's the goal. I think that's what everybody wants.
Yes.
So I'm excited to look, we're excited to look at, see what 2024 looks like. And I think it'd be really awesome to have us back in December so then we can go ahead and share with you all what we've seen.
Yes, absolutely. And then the final question for you, Alejandra, can someone get more information about your services? Or how can they get more information, I should say?
So like we mentioned, you can call 311 and just really direct, access to our office, our department. You can also go on the City of Tacoma website, look at our the Office of Equity and Human Rights page. And another really important one that I think we want to emphasize is you can attend our Human Rights Commission, which is held every second Monday of the month from 5:30 to 7:30. So it's a really, really awesome space for community members to come and really just share their concerns, any ideas, to the commission. Think the community, the people that are actually living in Tacoma community, what they have to say matters. And so the commission really wants to hear that. So
Okay, perfect. And I'm not sure if we touched on this or not, but legal services, is there pro bono?
So we have a contract with Tacoma Pro Bono for eviction prevention. So we're not attorneys, so we can't offer legal advice, but that's why we have Tacoma Pro Bono, who is an amazing partner.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, we appreciate both of you ladies being here today and being able to utilize this platform to get the information out to our viewers, the community. Thank you both so much for taking the time. Very important work that you're both doing and that your office is doing. So thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you back on the show.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.